Conspiracy theories. What if I told you that we would get a new Stephen King books many years after he passes away? Or if I told you that Patrick Rothfuss and George R. R. Martin intentionally do not want to finish their series? Or if I told you that Brandon Sanderson has had someone helping him write Cosmere books in secret? Well, let's talk about it. Now, I wanted to make a video where I speculate about some books related conspiracy theories, but just to make it 100% clear, I don't really believe any of these, but they're definitely interesting to think about, and I certainly do not want this video to be a justification for anyone to go and harass anyone. This is just fun and games, okay? Please treat what I say here as a thought experience and not the truth. Okay, let's get into it. Fantasy conspiracies. First up, what if George R. R. Martin and Rothfuss intentionally do not want to finish their series? Now, hear me out. Have you been waiting for the next book in the Kingkiller Chronicle or A Song of Ice and Fire for what seems like forever? Well, the fans of these series have been waiting for more than 10 years and we still have no idea when the next book is coming out. But why haven't these authors delivered on their promises yet? Well, it is here that the conspiracy theory starts. Now, some fans have speculated that the reason for the delay is that the authors are perfectionists who want to make sure that the last book in their series is absolutely perfect. However, there might be another reason for the delay: the fear of releasing a bad book. Now, think about it. The last book in a series is the one that will be remembered by the most. It is the book that will either satisfy fans' expectations or leave them disappointed. Now, if the last book in a series is bad, it could tarnish the entire series in the fans' eyes. And in today's social media driven world, negative reviews and the word of mouth marketing can spread quickly, leading to loss of fans and revenue. Now, if George R. R. Martin and Patrick Rothfuss do wait another 5 or 10 years to release their books, don't you think that we will continue to recommend their books? Yes, we probably will, because these are really great books. Now, what if they finally decide to publish their own work, maybe in the next year or so, and the books are really bad? What do you think will happen then? Well, obviously, there is still another book for George R. R. Martin to go, but in the case of Rothfuss, we might stop recommending the Kingkiller Chronicles. Not only has Rothfuss made fans angry for having them wait for 10 years for the third book, but if the book is bad, then that might be the thing that pushes readers over their limit. It might actually be the thing that might change the Kingkiller Chronicle to a series that is still widely recommended to a series that people will stop recommending. And if the word of mouth marketing stops, then that will lead to a loss of sales. Now, the alternative is just to do nothing and hope that the continued discussions about the next release will generate enough attention that these books will continue to sell, and for Rothfuss and Martin, they might just want to do that. I mean, yes, they will continue to get bad marketing, but maybe in this case, bad marketing is better than no marketing at all. Now, do I truly believe the series? Not really, but I do honestly believe that we will get to see the end of these two series someday. My next theory is that the Stephen King will get the same treatment as Tom Clancy. Now, you might wonder, what do you mean by that? Well, you know about all those Tom Clancy books we keep seeing in bookshops that seem to be getting a new release every year? Those books have sold more than 100 million copies and have Tom Clancy in bold on them. Now, did you know that Tom Clancy died 10 years ago? And since he's died, I believe there has been more than 15 books published in his name. When I learned that Tom Clancy wasn't even alive anymore, it blew my mind. But these books are still selling like crazy. Now, just think about this. Stephen King has basically published a new novel every year for like 50 years. And his name sells, and he has created a multiverse where all these books take place in. Now, who is not to say that the publisher will allow someone else to write stories in this multiverse he has created? I mean, the man has sold more than 350 million copies and has the highest number of books to adaptation ever. Do you honestly believe that anyone is going to allow such a strong brand to die with King when he eventually passes? For me, that just doesn't seem that likely. Maybe we should expect a new Stephen King release for the next 50 years, just as we keep getting new Tom Clancy books, although he passed away 10 years ago. Who knows? Now, the third conspiracy, and this one is a bit more wild, but just give it a listen. What if Brandon Sanderson has actually utilized having another author work on the Cosmere for way longer than we think? Obviously, this is just fun speculation, but think about it. Firstly, the man wrote 4 secret novels in the span of a bit more than a year or something like that, along with all of his other projects. Now, should we honestly think that this is feasible? Well, yeah, probably. But here is another clue. Sanderson recently announced that Dan Wells, another author, is joining Sanderson in helping him write more Cosmere books. Now this was announced on October 12, 2022, while the Secret Project novels were only mentioned 6 months prior to that. Now who's not to say that actually Dan Wells has played a more significant role in helping Sanderson write books, and after Sanderson was able to witness firsthand that Dan Wells was able to write Cosmere books really well, he decided to finally announce that Dan Wells is joining the team. Just think about it. We have known that Sanderson and Wells are close friends and both are authors. We know that writing 4 full novels in the span of a bit more than a year is not feasible for 99.9% of all authors, and we know that Dan Wells will write stuff in the Cosmere going forward. Now, is it that far-fetched to speculate that Wells has actually helped Sanderson writing the 4 secret novels? Let me know what you think about this theory, and to be honest, Sanderson definitely doesn't seem like the type to lie about this stuff, so I don't really believe in this one, but it's certainly interesting. Now, the 4th conspiracy theory here comes from a tweet I saw from the author Rob J. Hayes, and when I read it, I thought, well, that is interesting. If you haven't noticed, then many of Roald Dahl books have been edited to include more inclusive language. Now, this video is not a discussion about the argument for or against this practice, but I'll let you know that I think that this is a despiteful practice. But some of the edited examples include passages such as a 9-year-old boy who was so enormously fat, then they edited to a 9-year-old boy who was so enormous. Now, another example was great flappy folds of fat bulge out from every part of his body, which was edited to great folds bulged out, so again the word fat was deleted. Now I don't really care if you think that the edited passages are better. I can definitely see an argument that they do fit better our modern context, but going back and changing a dead author's sentences, I mean, there's just something quite despiteful about that in my opinion, whether you agree with the messages or not. And obviously Twitter and all of social media went absolutely mad when this was announced. Somehow it seemed like the whole internet, both leftists and people on the right wing, just they joined hands to condemn this practice. Basically people who were not happy for various reasons, and this was all over Twitter. Now Rob J. Hayes, he tweeted, "So at what point does it become that all of these articles about older works being edited to make them less offensive are actually a plot to generate new interest in stale IPs?" Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new conspiracy theory, and this one kinda makes sense. I mean, Dahl books are probably considered a bit stale now. I mean, the man has been dead for 33 years, so that isn't a surprise. But these new edits literally made everyone start talking about these books again. It is literally a brilliant marketing ploy. I mean, I'm even talking about it on this channel, and this channel isn't even focused on children's literature. Now the sad truth is that I genuinely believe that the publisher thought that editing these books was a great idea and not a ploy to generate backlash, but I'm not ruling it out. However, it has been announced that the classic unedited books of Roald Dahl are still going to be published, so yeah. They will probably try this again in 10 years time. Just wait, it will happen. But those are my book-related conspiracy theories. Now, do you have any conspiracy theories? If you leave some good ones, then I might make a part 2 where I react to some of them. So that is it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and a special thanks to my patrons who support what I do here. I really appreciate it.